Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Valentin is cleared, while Jack is blamed for setting him up. Valentin Cassadine may have led us to believe he was going to abandon Charlotte Cassadine and spend the rest of his life on the run, but we know otherwise. Valentin had followed her back to Port Charles, where he was planning to smoke out his rival, WSB chief Jack Brennan. Unfortunately for him, Valentin ended up behind bars, but that's preferable, in some ways, to dying with no trace that he had existed. Anna Devane and Mayor Laura Collins may do everything they can to keep Valentin safe during his time in prison, but we have a feeling he won't be there for as long as planned. Is this because the truth will out and clear his name? General Hospital spoilers: Game Over Valentin has been zigzagging throughout the world, avoiding the law and leaving us wondering if he will ever face the music. The father has been on the run, appearing ready to forsake his daughter Charlotte Cassadine and his hometown of Port Charles for good. But, let's be honest, Valentin's heart always pulls him back to the people he loves. According to rumors, Valentin couldn't resist following Charlotte back to Port Charles while devising a plan to defeat his lifelong nemesis, Jack. Valentin's magnificent plan failed spectacularly, as he has been apprehended right in the middle of Port Chuck's shoreline. Valentin's days of jetting off to exotic hideouts are over, and he appears to be facing retribution. Valentin's jailhouse blues come to fruition, according to GH spoilers. Being imprisoned up in Port Charles may seem safer than avoiding gunshots overseas, but don't fool yourself, Valentin has a bullseye on his back bigger than the Quartermain mansion. With a criminal record that involves crossing the wrong people, particularly in the shadowy hallways of the WSB, jail isn't exactly a vacation destination for the Cassadine bad guy. Sure, Anna and Laura might pull some strings to keep him safe, but how long can they keep the wolves away? The WSB isn't known for playing nice, and Valentin's opponents would love nothing more than to see him take a permanent dirt nap. Whispers around town suggest that some of those adversaries may even use insiders, guards, inmates, you name it. Every darkness in the cell block may conceal a shank bearing Valentin's name on it. Will Anna's loyalty or Laura's influence be sufficient to protect him? Is this the beginning of Valentin's devastating endgame? General Hospital spoilers: the fall guy. The WSB chief's relationship with Valentin has us all scratching our heads. Was Valentin truly the mastermind, or had Jack been manipulating strings from the beginning? These two have a strong enmity toward each other. Some fans believe Jack may have set Valentin up to take the fall, framing him for crimes that are deeper than we comprehend. Could Jack be the guilty party, and Valentin the scapegoat? If the truth is revealed, and we believe it will, Valentin's name could be cleared, restoring his freedom and turning the tables on Jack. Imagine the shockwaves if Jack is revealed to be the genuine villain. Will Valentin be free while Jack faces the music? General Hospital spoilers: Drew's medical file mystery. What is Portia up to with private patient information? General Hospital spoilers claim that a medical file mystery involving Drew Quartermain is now ongoing. What is Portia Robinson plotting, and how does it relate to Drew's personal patient information? In the March 21st episode, Portia spent some time in her office reviewing Drew's medical records. Portia's wheels were clearly moving as she repeatedly looked at that folder labeled patient and included Drew's name. Portia has been complying with Drew's requests and standing up for him during the press conference, but she wants out of this blackmail nightmare. Drew has the upper hand, but Portia plainly has something planned that might reverse everything. The March 24th preview video shows Ava Jerome sounding the alarm, maybe after hearing Portia's grand plot or receiving hints about it. In that clip, Ava advises Portia not to let fear control her actions. Ava will undoubtedly have a negative reaction to Portia's attempt to revenge against Drew and turn the tables. This could backfire dramatically, therefore Ava will issue a warning and attempt to prevent Portia from carrying out a strategy that could exacerbate the situation. Nonetheless, Portia is determined to get an advantage and put Drew in his place. The GH authors would not have included this medical file aspect unless it was headed someplace, but where exactly? Based on Portia's behaving, it appears that she has discovered something that Drew would prefer to keep private. If Drew's physical condition became public, it may make him appear mentally incompetent or cast doubt on his ability to serve in Congress. However, it is feasible that Portia will try to change Drew's medical record to suit her needs. That would be extremely risky, but Portia has shown that she is willing to change the system when she is desperate. Of course, another possibility is that Portia's finding leads to the realization that Drew is not who he claims to be. Given Drew's odd behavior in recent months, many fans think that the genuine Drew has been replaced with an imposter. No matter how things turn out, Portia has huge intentions for Drew's medical records, so stay tuned for any shocking news that may emerge. According to General Hospital spoilers, Portia will make a prediction about regaining power, but will things go as planned? General Hospital spoilers, 3 storylines that must end ASAP. How GH can move forward. General Hospital spoilers say that at least 3 stories must be resolved as soon as possible. Let's speak about some long-running stories and how GH can move forward. 1. Ava's broke nightmare. To begin, we'd like to see Ava Jerome regain her money and leave the broke nightmare she's trapped in. The Cassadines seized back Ava's divorce settlement, which never made sense. Even if it were true, Ava wasn't exactly poor when she received the settlement. Nonetheless, Ava is now required to cope with loans, accountant meetings, and budget constraints. The writers were clearly intended to make Ava struggle financially, but the plot is stupid and not particularly entertaining to watch. 2. Drew and Willow's nasty romance. Drew Quartermaine and Willow Corinthos' disgusting romance is another issue that has to be resolved as soon as possible. This relationship is arguably what began Drew's descent into a more nasty persona, and Willow doesn't appear much better because she's a hypocrite who's allowing Drew to pull the wool over her eyes. Willow and Drew certainly bring out the worst in one another, so we hope to see a romantic breakdown soon. Drew and Nina Reeves' hidden hookups may have contributed to Willow and Drew's separation, so perhaps that revelation will ultimately burst and kill Willow's relationship. 3. Gio big revelation build-up. We understand that the show needs to set the stage for the major reveal of Giovanni Gio Palmieri's true parentage, but they need to hurry things forward right now. It feels like there has been a lot of build-up, so it's time to get to the good stuff. When Lois Cerullo is concerned about the Gio secret being revealed, the scenes get somewhat repetitious. We've also seen plenty of instances between Gio and Brooklyn Quartermaine that highlight their family ties. Fortunately, things should pick up once Dante Falconeri discovers Brooklyn has given up his kid for adoption. That revelation is coming for Dante, whether Brooklyn likes it or not. May sweeps could be an ideal time for the entire Gio truth to be revealed. Once the buried secret section of this tale is resolved, a new story can begin in the aftermath. Gio will have to confront surprising news and make predictions about what his future will look like when his life is turned upside down. According to General Hospital spoilers, several characters may experience significant life changes in the near future, so stay tuned. Weekly General Hospital spoilers. March 24th to 28th, Jason warns Carly, Anna reflects on Vanna. Another eventful week in Port Charles. General Hospital spoilers for the week of March 24th to 28th, 2025 suggest romantic rumblings and intriguing information throughout Port Charles. Here's what happens next week on General Hospital. Jason issues an ultimatum to begin the week. This is apparently issued to Carly after he explicitly told her to stop seeing Brennan. We all know Carly will not back down easy, so on Tuesday, she will discuss her future with Brennan. Could a reunion with Sunny be in the works? Jason may have other thoughts later in the week, when he gets skeptical and Sasha is put on the position. Are they going to confess to everyone that Jason is her baby's father? More Quartermaine turmoil will unfold this week as Tracy grills Brooklyn about something, and Ned discloses a plan. Could this all be related to Drew's attempt to demolish the family crypt? Odds and ends. Valentin will begin the week by making a request of Alexis, while Anna will close the week reflecting on her past, likely with Valentin. Lulu will make an admission midweek, but what and to whom? Chase had already told her not to tell Dante what she knew about Brooklyn's baby, but he never stated she couldn't share with others. Justin Brunning's thoughts on potentially working with General Hospital wife Alexa Havens. Justin Brunning enjoys working alongside his wife Alexa Havens and has not ruled out a possible appearance on the serial. Alexa Havens has established herself as General Hospital's Lulu since her recast debut in November 2024. After being unconscious for 4 years, Havens injected vigor and verve to the role, reviving Lulu and preparing her for future adventures. And she may add something more to the show, her real-life spouse, Justin Brunning. Tad was his father when Havens and Brennan worked together on All My Children as Babe Chandler and Jamie Martin, respectively. They fell in love and eventually married. Brennan recently spoke with Swoon about perhaps joining his wife on GH, despite the fact that he is already preoccupied with Netflix's Sweet Magnolias. Brennan stated that he would enjoy appearing on film alongside his gorgeous bride. It would be fun. I enjoy working with my wife, so it would be fun to pop on. We joke that I want to start appearing in the background as just a random barista. It helps that Michael E. Knight, who presently plays attorney Martin Gray on GH, once played Brennan's AMC father Tad the Cad Martin. Never say never. Brennan described how Havens invited him to the GH holiday party as a +1. Man, I've got a lot of friends on that. As nice as it was that she took him, there was one driving factor that made sure he showed up for the party. I just went to see Michael Knight, he nonchalantly stated, adding, he was there and immediately said, how do we make this work this season? However, Brennan had to remind Knight about Sweet Magnolias, noting that Knight remarked, oh, that's right, you have your show. Darn it. Okay, I'll work it out. I'm going to stay at it. Knight, according to Brennan, is still actively looking for a method to get on the soap. When asked about a possible cameo, the actor replied, I'll never say never. General Hospital spoilers, Christina's wild move against Ava goes way too far. According to General Hospital teasers, Christina Corinthos Davis may have an instant remorse after making a rash move against Ava Jerome. Christina is clearly still fixated on vengeance. Ava was acquitted in court, but Christina isn't about to give her a break after losing her baby girl. Christina continues to complain about Ava shoving her out the window whenever she gets the chance, despite the fact that GH fans know that is not how it happened. Ava sought to persuade Alexis Davis to recognize Christina's illogical conduct and understand that fostering it was counterproductive. Too many people are allowing Christina to get out of control when she needs a reality check. Lucky Spencer at least attempted to persuade Christina that her daughter would want her to find peace and let go. Unfortunately, Christina does not believe she is capable of doing so, and her revenge mission will result in worse issues. Christina will lose her cool again during the week of March 24th to 28th. There could be some situation where Ava gets on Christina's bad side again, so Christina will go on a quest to find her and rip into her. Ava will issue a threat later, which will cause problems if Christina is the recipient. That could force Christina to respond unexpectedly, putting her in terrible risk. According to GH spoilers, Christina will eventually come to regret a decision she made. Christina's next actions appear to have devastating consequences, leaving her wishing she could undo them. Christina may gravely damage Ava and worry that she will end up in prison for her actions. Christina may also be concerned that Avery Corinthos will never forgive her for endangering Ava's life. Of fact, Avery herself could become involved in the risk in some way. If Christina's impetuous move inadvertently injures Avery, she will undoubtedly feel quick sorrow. Whatever the case, Christina has been making angry predictions about Ava ever since she avoided punishment in court. If Christina tries to punish Ava right now, everyone concerned may be in for some bad news. According to General Hospital spoilers, Christina has more messes to deal with, so stay tuned for updates on the upheaval. Jason Morgan had spent several years perfecting the art of silence. Secrets were second nature to him, hidden beneath layers of allegiance and obligation. But now he was at a crossroads, clutching a truth that may shatter the lives of people around him. The identity of Sasha Gilmore Corbin's child's father was a secret he had kept hidden, but for how long? There were just a few people in Jason's life that he truly trusted. For years, he had been the one people turned to when they needed security, someone who could never betray their trust. However, even the strongest barricades ultimately crumble, and Jason began to feel the weight of the truth bear down on him. Sasha had gone through hell. Losing Brando Corbin had destroyed her, and she was now battling to find peace in a world that had stolen so much away from her. But she had one thing she was determined to protect, her child. What if she knew the truth? Will she consider it a betrayal, or will it finally set her free? Jason was never one to confide in others. His secrets were personal, kept hidden and carried in silence. But, after everything that had occurred, the losses, betrayals, and wars fought in the name of loyalty, he was coming to realize that some realities could not be carried alone. Danny Morgan was the first person he had revealed the information to. He had intended to prepare his son to be open about the changing family dynamics surrounding them. But even then, he had withheld the whole truth, afraid to put the burden of such a revelation on his child's shoulders. But there was someone else who might be able to grasp the complexities of the issue. An unexpected connection with Anna. Jason had always seen loyalty or betrayal, trust or dishonesty as binary choices. But Anna Devane had a knack of getting him to see the gray regions. She was one of the few individuals who could question him without making him retreat into quiet. Their friendship had grown stronger over time, built by shared peril and mutual respect. And then there was that moment in Africa, the heat of battle, the thrill of the unknown, and the kiss that changed everything. Jason was not one to act on impulse. But something about Anna prompted him to ponder options he had never entertained before. As they found themselves on a mission in Buenos Aires, attempting to unravel the final remaining parts of Charlotte Cassadine's intricate web, the tension between them was palpable. The expedition would soon conclude, and they would return to Port Charles. But something told Jason that what they'd started wouldn't go away so quickly. Will Jason confess to Anna? The closer Jason and Anna became, the harder it was to keep the truth hidden. Anna was too perceptive. She'd spent her life reading people, discovering secrets, and interpreting lies. If anyone could see past Jason's meticulously built defenses, it was her. Jason was never irresponsible with secrets, but this one was different. If Anna figured it out, would she pressure him to confess? And if he did, what would she do with the information? Michael Corinthos was unaware that he was the father of Sasha's child. The cover-up had been seamless and intended to protect everyone involved. But was keeping this secret truly the greatest option for Sasha, Michael, and the child? Jason had always taken pride in doing the right thing even when it was difficult. However, in this circumstance, the appropriate thing was unclear. A complicated future for Sasha. Sasha had struggled to restore her life, but if Jason told Anna the truth, the consequences may be disastrous. Would Sasha consider that a betrayal? She had trusted Jason and relied on him throughout the worst times of her life. Would she turn her back on him if she discovered he was hiding something so important? Then there was the issue of Michael. Would he be a better father if he knew the truth? Or will the disclosure do more harm than good? Jason had always been a defender, but he was coming to realize that certain battles couldn't be won with fists and tactics alone. Some battles were about trust, honesty, and knowing when to hold and when to let go. As Jason continued to negotiate his blossoming relationship with Anna, he realized that the time for silence was running out. Spoilers for Monday, March 24th, wise advice, all in the family, agent warning. General Hospital spoilers and updates for Monday, March 24th include good advice, all in the family, and an agent warning. Ava Jerome offers sound advice, Alexis Davis keeps it all inside the family, and Jocelyn Jacks receives an agency warning. Wise counsel Ava and Portia Robinson are still at Portia's office at GH, where she gives her some sound counsel. Portia becomes concerned as they discuss the situation with Drew Quartermain and his blackmail of Portia. They also talked about Trina Robinson and how she'd feel if Portia went to prison for changing Heather Weber's medical records. Fear is in Portia's eyes and all over her face as Ava gives her some sound counsel. She warns her not to allow fear drive her to do stupid things, knowing that it is easily done. Alexis is keeping it all in the family when she visits the PCPD to speak with her half-cousin, Valentin Cassadine. They've been discussing Valentin's charges and his case, and Valentin wasn't sure she could help, but it appears he has come up with an idea. She asks him, "What do you think I can do?" Martin Gray had been hauled off to California, and she was the only one who could provide him with his constitutional right to an attorney present during questioning. No doubt, the two Cassadine cousins will brainstorm, with Alexis ensuring they stay within the law. Something wrong also at the hospital. Elizabeth Baldwin is concerned. She informs Lucas Jones, who has recently returned to town, that something is wrong and she needs to know. Is someone tampering with the records system again, or is there anything worse going on? Elizabeth is understandably concerned. With all of the problems the hospital has had with an angel of death, prescription tampering, and other issues, Elizabeth takes her role as chief nurse very seriously. She wants to make sure nothing goes wrong with her watch, and Lucas appears anxious as well. Mother-daughter squabbles elsewhere. Nina Reeves confronts Willow Corinthos. He threatens her that she will never be a WSB agent if she tells her any of this. It appears that Brennan is referring to her mother, Carly Spencer, but it may also be her best friend Trina or even Anna Devane. But Brennan wouldn't want Carly to know that he coerced Jocelyn into joining the WSB. And does Joss even know her mother is in the hospital? Is she aware of her mother's polonium poisoning, or is it something he does not want Joss to know? Jason's stern warning and Carly's tears after speaking with Valentin and learning more about Brennan. Jason issued Carly a stern warning to terminate things with Brennan right now. He made it clear that she would be in danger if she continued to be engaged with him, but she refused to listen. He and Carly appear to be in a heated dispute regarding the hazardous WSB agent. Carly is in tears. She tears to Jason, telling him that he has never given up on her and would not start now. This sounds like a severe matter because Carly and Jason do not fight, but he is fighting on this one and appears to be ready to resign. Spoilers, will Dante learn the truth from Lulu, Brooklyn, or Chase? According to General Hospital spoilers, Dante Falconeri is about to get a shocking revelation that might turn his world upside down, and the big question is who will reveal it. We're talking about Brooklyn Quartermain and a juicy truth that has been buried deeper than a Cassadine treasure. Brooklyn and Dante allegedly got hot and heavy when they were teenagers, resulting in a pregnancy she kept hidden. She handed the baby, a son, no less, up for adoption and never spoke to Dante. But the truth is leaking out, and it might come from three people: Lulu Spencer, Brooklyn, or Harrison Chase. General Hospital spoilers, has Lulu spilled the beans? First, Lulu has transformed into a one-woman detective agency. She broke into Marty Gray's hotel room, yes, the attorney Brooklyn's mother Lois Cerullo consulted, and struck gold. Martin's notes revealed the truth about Brooklyn's secret son, and Lulu has been gripping that information like a winning lottery ticket. She has previously faced Brooklyn. Will she now lay this bombshell on Dante? Lulu has a history with him, and this could be her opportunity to stir the pot or reconcile some ties. According to spoilers, Brooklyn opens out about everything. Then there's Brooklyn, who's been keeping this secret for years. She only recently learned that the kid was a male, and guilt has been chewing at her incessantly. Following Lulu's showdown, Brooklyn confessed to Chase, her rock-solid husband. But will she have the guts to tell Dante herself? Facing her adolescent fling and admitting she hit his son might either clear her guilt or destroy all she holds dear. The Quartermain upheaval has already begun. Ned will flip, and Olivia Falconeri may have some harsh words for her stepson's ex. All of this has undoubtedly influenced Brooklyn's decision to remain quiet thus far. General Hospital spoilers, Chase can't do Dante this way? And don't underestimate Chase. He now knows what happened owing to Brooklyn's confession, and his cop instincts are firing. Chase, as loyal as he is to his wife, may believe Dante deserves the truth even if it means saving his own marriage from further damage. Will he confront Dante and expose the truth in the cause of honor? Chase is now trying to keep this secret hidden, but confronting Dante will be difficult for his devoted heart. The clock is ticking, and with these three circling, Dante is about to discover he has a son out there. Brooklyn Quartermain Chase had encountered numerous trials in her life, but none compared to the betrayal she felt in this moment. The idea that her mother, Lois Cerullo, knew more about her background than she ever revealed ripped through her like a wildfire. Lois had concealed secrets that had influenced Brooklyn's life without her knowledge. Brooklyn was torn between screaming, crying, and walking away forever as the reality began to emerge. She had spent years hiding her past anguish, pushing it down so deep that she could pretend it didn't exist. But the past had a way of reappearing when you least expected it, and now Brooklyn was forced to confront a truth she wasn't sure she was prepared for. Brooklyn had never hugged her kid, seen his face, or promised him love. At the time, she was told that it was for the best. She'd been young, afraid, and vulnerable. The people around her had convinced her that abandoning her child was the only solution. It was a decision made for her, one she hadn't even been entirely aware of. She had not been awake when she gave birth. That tidbit bothered her. She had carried him for 9 months, experiencing every kick, movement, and reminder that a life was developing within her. And suddenly he was gone. She never got to say goodbye. And now that she knew she'd never be able to carry another kid, the loss felt much more intense. Her husband, Harrison Chase, had been her strength throughout everything. When she eventually revealed the truth about her adolescent pregnancy, she expected him to feel betrayed. Instead, he had hugged her, soothed her, and informed her that it made no difference to how he saw her. But now she was trying to accept it. She had lost her only kid before she even had the opportunity to become a mother. Lois knows more than she lets on. Brooklyn had been skeptical for some time, but it wasn't until Lulu Spencer gave her images of Martin Gray's notes that she had incontrovertible evidence. Their argument had been fierce. Lulu had broken into her uncle's Metro Court suite, searching for information about her own daughter. Brooklyn couldn't fault her for that. If she had the opportunity to locate her missing child, she would do so. But what Lulu discovered had changed everything. Martin's legal filings included information about Brooklyn's son. Lois had never addressed these details. Details that indicated without a doubt that her mother was harboring secrets. Brooklyn confronted Lois instantly, unable to control her rage. An ugly confrontation. Lois felt there was something amiss the instant Brooklyn walked into the room. "You lied to me," Brooklyn said, her voice shrill and filled with pain. Lois' face paled. "What are you talking about?" Brooklyn did not hesitate. She took out her phone and held it up so that her mother could see the images Lulu had sent her. "Explain this." Lois' eyes sparked with realization before she averted her gaze. "Brookie, don't call me Brookie," she snapped. You knew more about my son than you had ever told me. You knew what happened to him, where he was sent, and who took him. And you made me believe it was all out of my control." Lois took a hesitant breath. "It was a sealed adoption. I couldn't. Don't lie to me anymore." Brooklyn cut her off. "If it was so sealed, how come Martin had notes? Why was my son's information in his briefcase? Why was Lulu able to learn more about my child than I could?" Lois paused. Because my mother was involved." Brooklyn felt like the air had been knocked out of her lungs. "Grandma Gloria?" she muttered, scarcely able to grasp it. Lois nodded, shame blazing on her face. She helped arrange the adoption. Brooklyn took a step back. "Is that it?" she inquired, her voice shaking. "You and Grandma decided what was best for me and my son, and I never had a say? You made a decision that would have long-term consequences for my life, and you didn't believe I deserved to know the whole truth?" Lois's eyes welled with tears. "We did what we thought was best." Brooklyn laughed bitterly. "For whom? For me? Or for you?" Lois reached for her, but Brooklyn backed away. "No," she replied, shaking her head. "You don't get to soothe me right now. Not after what you did." Lois brushed away tears. "Brookie, I swear, we never meant to hurt you." Brooklyn's voice cracked as she responded, "Well, you did." A desperate search. Brooklyn had spent her entire life trying to make her family proud. She had given up her own aspirations and happiness in order to fulfill her responsibilities. What about now? She was done waiting for the truth to come to her. She would find her son, regardless of what it required. Valentin almost killed Carly. Brennan noticed the champagne had been tampered with, but it was too late to save Carly from poisoning. He hurried her to the hospital and called the WSB for assistance identifying the toxin, which ended out to be polonium. Valentin broke into his old residence to recover a concealed stockpile of documents and passports, only to be stopped by Sonny with a revolver. Valentin attempted to bargain by admitting that the bomb that blew up his home had been taken from the WSB and used by a hired hitman, so Sonny let him go. Anna called Robin about the polonium antidote, but the WSB came through first, saving Carly's life. Felicia and Lucas both advised Carly to quit her relationship with Jack before it was too late, but she would not listen. Laura pushed Valentin to turn himself in, but he thought it was a death sentence. When Sonny discovered Valentin had put Carly in the hospital while targeting Brennan, he asked Jason to assist Jack in completing the mission. Jack intercepted Valentin at the docks after being tipped off by Sonny. He threatened to murder him. Jason tried to stop Anna from interfering, but she was desperate to prevent Valentin's murder so she could arrest him. At the station, she warned him that he would have to pay for his misdeeds. Jason went to Valentin and offered a favor in exchange for information on Brennan. The Cassadine agreed and cautioned Jason that Brennan might be the head of the WSB and would do anything to keep Carly. So Jason went to the hospital and told Carly she needed to quit seeing Jack because her life depended on it. Brooklyn confessed to Chase. Brooklyn revealed to Chase that her baby's father is Dante, after she expressed her displeasure with her mother and grandmother for hiding secrets. He was taken aback by the revelation as she detailed what happened at summer camp and how Cody knew because he helped her. Chase agreed that giving the baby up for adoption was the proper thing to do, but she thought Dante should know about it. She protested that it was too risky and urged him to be silent. Brooklyn acknowledged to Lois that she had told Chase the truth, and she didn't know how she could ever trust her mother again. Lois decided to return to Bensonhurst for a while to give herself some space. Chase told Lulu he knew everything and begged her to quit bothering his wife. Portia and Nina plotted against Drew. Anna arrived to Laura's with a federal marshal to arrest Martin for failing to pay alimony to one of his wives. Tracy appeared to gloat, and Martin realized she did so as retaliation for the crypt. Laura stated it was Drew's fault and Martin was simply doing his job, but when Martin claimed the law was on Drew's side, Tracy ordered the marshal to arrest him. Nina persuaded Willow to reconsider moving in with Drew, promising to buy her a home of her own. Tracy notified Drew that his attorney was in jail, but Drew refused to give up the fight. When Willow came, she naturally defended her beau, blaming Tracy for everything. Ezra Boyle arrived at the hospital for Drew's press conference and made sarcastic remarks about the mayor's absence. Trina praised Kai's performance in front of the press, while Drew thanked Portia for her assistance. However, the doctor was discreetly reviewing Drew's medical records. Nina claimed Willow would lose her children if she moved in with Drew, but Willow insisted Drew would never allow that. Nina sneaked back in and rifled through Drew's safe. Lucas and Marco connected. Lucas awoke with a severe hangover, and Marco told him that they did not have sex because he was unable to consent. Lucas was mortified to find that he had also thrown up all over him, and he insisted on getting his phone number so that he could repay him for the dry cleaning. Marco made it plain that he should call him regardless. Brad called Stella for counsel, and she told him that he had done the right thing by speaking clean, and that he and Lucas could be friends someday. Brad insisted that with Lucas' love, he would be a better person, but when he returned to his room, he discovered Lucas bidding goodbye to Marco. Cody called Alexis for help after being arrested for auto theft, and Molly was prosecuting the case. Rick attempted to offer his assistance, which only prompted another quarrel between him and Alexis. After Cody demonstrated that he was driving his own car, the lawsuit was dropped, and he persuaded Rick to quit arguing with his ex because it was harming Molly. Meanwhile, Molly urged her mother to please stop allowing Rick to push her buttons. Ava approached Alexis about obtaining a loan from the Cassadine estate, but Christina shrieked that she would not receive $1, and Alexis agreed. Later, once Christina told Lucky about Ava, he encouraged her to let it go, but she couldn't. Around Port Charles, Trina told Kai about her love with Spencer and how he died to save her life. He enjoyed getting to know her even better and gave her a kiss and a lovely birthday present. Jason and Sonny continued to speculate who had set the explosives in the penthouse. It did not match Sidwell's explosives, but Sonny doubted it was Brennan since he did not want to endanger one of Carly's children. He also asked Jason to take good care of Sasha. Jason agreed not to tell Carly that Sasha's baby is her grandson for the time being, and he agreed to send Michael the sonogram photo. Lulu wanted Rocco to live with her in Charlotte, but Dante was against the notion and suggested they take it slowly. Lulu was thrilled to be residing with Laura and her children, but she told her mother she needed her own apartment. Vaughn interrupted Jocelyn's research of Easter Island for her cover story, warning her that being a spy is a lonely life because she must keep everything hidden from her family and friends. She insisted she could manage it and encouraged him to take on any difficulties he chose. Lucky stayed at Liz's, but on the couch. However, they both admitted that their feelings for each other were genuine. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.